Alright, you can make the best artwork in the world, and it doesn't matter, truly, for this semester unless you can document it well. So to document your artwork, you're going to need a few things that are all provided. Number one, you're going to need some sticky tack. That's the same stuff that we use to hang artwork on the wall. You're going to break that up into 4 little pieces, and we're going to stick it on the back of the art piece that we made. You're going to throw it up into each corner so that way it's nice and even. Even's pretty important because we want this to be pretty flat against the wall, and if each piece is the same size roughly, it'll make it easier to pop up on the wall. We want to make something that's pretty parallel is the idea, so that way whenever we use our camera can be parallel to the artwork that's on the wall. So make sure and just tear them off in tiny little pieces. I think I did an okay job. I didn't overthink it. Now, whenever we're taking pictures, we want it to be flat up on a wall. The reason why is because it's better for your shoulders to be able to take the picture and make it less blurry. So most people, their picture taking device isn't going to be a problem. iPhones is a problem for some reason. So make sure it's on photo, and then make sure that thing, if it's yellow, you turn it off. All right? It'll take a live picture, which is not going to be helpful to you. So whenever you're taking the picture, I want you to bring the camera close into your chest, okay? So it closer into your chest makes it easier to be able to keep the camera stable. And since we want it to be stable for the picture, it's going to make it a lot easier. Now let's take a look and see what that looks like from over my shoulder. A nice thing about living in the future like we do is the ability to take multiple pictures of something. I'm not trying to say like, oh, back in my day, you took one picture and quit. But it's nice that you can take multiples. So get it in camera, get it nice and framed in there, try to get it as straight as possible, and just blast away. Take as many pictures as you want. Bad ones just get thrown away. Now, a lot of you don't have sticky tack maybe at home, or you're scared of it, so you can take a picture flat on a table. Make sure your camera is flat. It's harder to get a straighter shot this way, but just make sure your shadow, your big old head, doesn't cast a shadow right into the artwork. That is very, very important. So when you have taken the picture, you're going to want to go ahead and email it to yourself. So I got it emailed to myself, and then I can just hit download, and it'll download to this computer, and everything's fine. Alright, so we are going to edit our photo now that we have it on our computer. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to pixlr.com, Pixlr.com. Then you're going to go to Advanced Pixlr E. It's a nice browser-based editing software that you're going to use if you're in art class every year. So we're going to go ahead and go over here to the left, go to Open Image, get our image, choose image. All right, so first off, it's sideways. That's fine. First thing you want to do is you want to zoom out. Your zoom sliders are over here. You can zoom all the way in if you want. Like, ugh, oh, it's awful. Let's get something more manageable. Just so what we're primarily doing here, I mean, our artwork already looks fine, right? So we're just trying to make it look presentable and make it easier to upload. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Image, which is up here. You can go to Image Rotation, and you're going to rotate left or right, or if it doesn't need to rotate, then don't worry about it. Probably important to say. Rotate left. Boop. So now it's the right orientation. That's good. That's nice. Thanks. Then we're going to go ahead and crop the thing. We use the crop tool over here to minimize work that we're going to do later. So once you click it, it's going to activate. See, it's already doing its business. And what we're going to do is we're going to get that as tight to the edge of our image as we can. Borders, we don't really want a border. We want it just the artwork, all right? If it goes off, if it cuts in a little bit, it's probably going to be fine. Let's go ahead now that we got our image. Boop. We got it right here. Then the next step is we need to stretch the image to make it fit this properly. To do that, we're going to go to Edit, and we're going to go to Free Distort, so Control K, all right? So what we're doing here, each one of these anchors moves it significantly in that direction. What? So once you click it, I can go whoop. Obviously don't want to do that, right? I just want to move it that tiny little bit. I want to get rid of the little white spot on the edge. And you might be going, hey, is this altering the image? Nah. I mean, as long as... cancel. As long as the image still feels right, you're okay. So don't worry too much about it. Go ahead, enter. Or click off. Anything will do it. So zoom in. So we got the image on here and it's a little awkward looking, right? It's not as vibrant as maybe it is in person. So we need to adjust it. There's a bunch of ways that we can do this. There's all sorts of things over here. We can give it a big nose apparently. But there's lots of options. You can play with those in the future. But what we're going to focus on right now is just making this look good. All right. So go to adjustment. And then 9 times out of 10, all you need to hit is auto adjust to make it look nice. So let's try it out. Over here on the right is our history bar. Let's go ahead and go back to distort. Let's see if there's any difference. Nah, there's not. But in case anything ever goes wrong, you have this history that you can go back through. Let's go ahead and try something else. Let's try curves. No, levels. Levels is always reliable. So go ahead and move it out of the way so you can see the image. And then you're going to mess with these sliders, and it's basically going to make it more intense. So we might just want to boop, 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 boop. Notice how it got a little bit darker. And then we'll move this one. Boop, 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 boop. Ooh, you know, that might be it. I think that's it. Let's go back. Ugh, boring. Boo. Yay, lush, great. So that's all you really need to do to make sure your image looks good enough to submit. So again, one of the most important parts is having an image that's flat to begin with. That will make it a lot easier, okay? The flatter the image, the easier this will go. That's really, really important. I'm not saying, oh, it needs to be three-dimensional. What I'm saying is, you whenever you use the sticky tack to put it on the wall, it's nice and flat. Your camera, whatever it is flat facing it, okay? So we have a few things left to do. We're going to change the image size. We're not going to be printing this out on a billboard or anything, but we want to just make sure it's a nice size. So take whatever your height, whatever your longest side is, and make it 1,000. Boop. Do that every time. It'll be a nice size. You want to hit constrain proportions. So you can see I just turned it off right here. It'll be lit up when it's on. Then go ahead and hit apply. So whenever you are done, that's all done. You go to File, and then you are going to save this. And we want to save it as a JPEG. Make sure you title it something that's easy to remember. So whatever the project is, so, or anything really. So you're going to put your last name, and then you're going to put whatever the project is, whatever it's titled. You can just be creative. So this one is just be project 1. And I want to save this at high, and then I'm going to hit download. And it's now saved in my computer. If you're tired of ads and want the best Pixlr experience, get premium. I mean, it looks like mine's fine. But that's all it is. That's all you need to do. Pixlr.com, Pixlr E. You can just follow this every time to fix your artwork. We need them to look nice and good is the idea. This is what my finished one looks like. But the idea is we just want things to be presentable because we want to be able to see the artwork as clearly as possible. I know a lot of you have different ways of taking pictures. That doesn't matter. Any way you can take the picture is what matters, because we can always edit it to make it look pretty good. You don't need a super good camera. You don't need anything fancy. You just need something that can go click and it'll work. When you're done, upload it later.